Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 5 of my Atlanta United series for FM19. Now, today's episode, as you can tell from the title, it is going to be the US Open Cup final, and our opponents today are going to be New York City. Of course, in the previous episode, you sort of saw the run that we had in the Cup. Basically, the semi-final was against a non-MLS team, and the only team that we actually versed from the MLS was the Columbus Crew. And that was in the quarterfinals. Now, in terms of where we currently sit, we're on 71 points, still have not lost since that Chicago game, which is pretty impressive. As you can see, we've also already qualified for the conference semi-final. As well as that, we've also already won the Supporters' Shield, which is pretty incredible, albeit there's not too many games left. But yeah, LA Galaxy are in second place, and Sporting Kansas City are just behind them with a game in hand, albeit 2 points behind them. However, neither team can catch us now. We've essentially got a 16-point gap if SKC did actually win their game in hand. So yeah, we've already won the Supporters' Shield, which was one of the goals set out by the board, or one of the season expectations. And we've ticked that off the list. We've also got to win the MLS Cup, which is, of course, winning the semi-final of the playoffs for the conference, winning the final for the conference, and then, of course, winning the MLS Cup final against the winner of the other conference, of the Western Conference. So yeah, there's still a lot to do. Obviously, we want to win this trophy here today as well. In terms of the recent fixtures, of course, the previous episode was not too long ago. It was the 1-0 victory over Columbus. We followed that up with a 2-0 victory away from home against Orlando. Barco and Nagbe on the score sheet there. We then clinched a nice little 1-0 victory away from home again against DC United this time. And Joseph Martinez getting back on the score sheet. Could only manage a 0-0 draw against Colorado. As you can see, Eric Remedi did get sent off with a straight red card. We then managed to beat San Jose Earthquakes 3-1. As you can see, Barco got himself a brace. One of his goals was a penalty. And then we had Nagbe on the score sheet there as well. And the final game just played was a massive 7-1 victory over Real Salt Lake. Villalba got himself a brace. Nagbe got himself a hat-trick. He also picked up an injury, and he's going to be out for today's game. Gosselin, the 18-year-old, on the score sheet there, as well as Escobar, the right back. So yeah, there weren't too many fixtures to get through there. As you can see, for some reason this is glitching out, the player stats. It says that Brad Guzan is our highest average rated player, which is obviously not true. And I don't know why it's like that, but it's a 6.95 and he's the goalkeeper. It doesn't really make sense, especially when you have players like Gonzalo Martinez. It was essentially on a 7.66 in the MLS. Really weird stuff. But yeah, so Martinez, 17 assists so far, and then Joseph Martinez, 15 goals so far for him. Anyways, let's get into today's lineup. Obviously can't be full strength because of the injury to Nagbe, so Gosselin will start in the centre midfield position. Gressel's just come back from an injury as well, which is perfect timing considering Nagbe's going to be out. In terms of other players that are currently injured, Bello picked up a 5-week injury, and then somehow Breck Shea picked up a 5-month season-ending injury. Basically, I think he did his Achilles tendon, and yeah, it was a training injury as well, which is just, it's really frustrating when those things happen. I guess they do happen in real life, but Anyway, today's lineup is going to be Guzan in goals, Escobar at right back, Perez and Pogba as our two centre defenders. Unfortunately, we're going to have to go with Hernandez. I was contemplating bringing Redding into centre of defence and then putting Pogba at left back. I don't know if I should do it. I really want to, though. I really want to. If I show you here, Hernandez, his rating's gone up. It was like a 6.64 or something prior to the injuries to both left backs. It's gone up to a 6.98, but obviously that's a little bit inflated from the previous game. It's a tough one. I'll stick with him. I'll stick with him. Hopefully I don't, regret that after the game. Sitting in front of the centre backs is going to be Laurentowicz as the defensive midfielder. Two centre mids, mentioned them before, Gressel and Gosselin. Barco's going to be the right winger today with Gonzalo Martinez as the left winger. And then obviously Joseph Martinez will be up front. The bench today is going to be Can, Robinson, Redding, Cullerton, Villalba, Kiseveta, and Williams. No, it's not, because this competition only allows you to have 5 foreign players. And we have 6 on the pitch. So we're going to have to do what I said. Pogba is going to have to play at left back. And Hernandez is basically going to have to miss out due to that rule. It's a little bit interesting. Obviously, the US Open Cup is probably leaning towards a more, leaning towards using American youth players more. Obviously, there's no Canadian teams in the Open Cup either. So, yeah. Anyway, let's advance. Hernandez will miss out. Doesn't really matter too much. He didn't really help us get here in the first place. I want to tell the boys they deserve to win the trophy, and I expect them to do so. Sort of the only real response that does make sense for a cup final. And let's see what they can do. Escobar, Gosselin, Laurentowicz. Moving the ball pretty nicely here. Pogba, Gonzalo Martinez. Decent little shot just over the bar. Escobar with the throw-in. Gosselin does lose the ball. However, it's only partially cleared by New York. And once again, we are moving the ball pretty nicely. It's a good ball over the top. Barco to Martinez. 1-0. 4 minutes in, we've taken the lead. And that's an ever-present combination. Barco to Joseph Martinez. I don't know is it Joseph or Yosef. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just going to call him Joseph because I'm sure Americans would probably say that as well. Anyway, we've started the game pretty well. I'm happy in terms of taking the lead early on. We've now picked up a couple of yellow cards, so I'm going to ease those boys off. Pity Martinez and Escobar. Ease both of them off. Worth noting that Pity Martinez, Gonzalo Martinez actually picked up a cap for Argentina in the last international break. So good to see him getting, rewarded with a cap for his national team. Come on, Barco. Shoots and he scores. Get in. Good to see there. We're approaching half-time now, and, we are playing pretty well. 2-0 up into the half-time break. In the cup final as well. This makes it all the sweeter. All the sweeter. That 7-1 victory. I know. Gonzalo Martinez has picked up a knock here. Tight hamstring. I don't really know who we can bring on, to be honest. Carleton, maybe? Yeah, I guess Carleton. I mean, he's the only one that can even slightly play. Oh, and Tina Holmes going to get sent off. 2 yellow cards for the New York man. I would be very disappointed as Barco's free kick goes over the bar. Short corner here by Atlanta. It's cleared away. Pogba bringing the ball forward. I'm pretty sure Pogba was our leading goal scorer in this competition, which is random, considering his, pretty much played centre-back the whole time. Anyway, Guzan, really cheeky to come out of his box like that, although he does repay the favour, or repay the mistake, with a big save there. Don't really know what he was doing, to be honest. He came super far out, and then... yeah, anyway, let's move on. Let's not talk about it. I'm not really too sure who I want to bring on, if I'm honest. We don't really have anyone to bring on apart from Villalba, although Barco is playing quite well, as is Joseph Martinez. I think we'll just leave it, actually. As Gosselin picks up an injury. Perfect. Right on time. Okay, now we've got to think about things, because we've got no central midfielders. Barco can play in centre mid, actually. Not well, but he can play there. So I think that's the only option we really have, I guess. I mean, yeah, I don't really see what else we could have done there, to be fair. We'll just tell Barco to ease off tackles as well. Not really familiar in his position. Could potentially give up a second yellow. And obviously we don't really want that. Even though full time is approaching very quickly, we're still 2-0 up. And it looks like we're about to win our first, well, technically our second piece of silverware, considering we've already actually won the Supporter Shield. But yeah, our first cup of the series. Really looking forward to it. Hopefully we'll win many more LAMAR Hunt US Open Cups. It's really weird why it's not called the US Open Cup on the game. Anyway, there we go. Boys raising the trophy. Black and red confetti falling all around. And yeah, I mean, we were pretty dominant. Although both goals came before the red card. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit weird. Anyway, we'll congratulate the boys. And we'll move swiftly on. There we go. Atlanta United lift US Cup. Oh, no. Gosselin is out for 3 to 4 months with a torn hamstring. That is super, super disappointing. We also get an extra 230k. Luckily, Gonzalo Martinez only out for 2 days. And yeah, the board is pretty pleased with that victory. And Joseph Martinez picked up man of the match in that game as well. So yeah, that is going to wrap this episode up, guys. If you could drop a like, it'd be very much appreciated. Subscribe as well if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell. That should hopefully keep you up to date with these episodes after you have subscribed to the channel. And apart from that, guys, take it easy and goodbye.